before you breathe, and before you scroll. Listen now. Do not skip this moment meant for you. You were not meant to pass this by. And you know it. I am speaking directly to you. Yes, you. Heaven is watching this moment. The angels are speaking your name. And time itself slowed. It slowed, so you could hear me. I am God. And I have seen you when no one else noticed. I have heard the prayers you whispered in exhaustion. I have counted the tears you wiped away in silence. I know how long you have waited. I know how confusing it feels. And I know how broken parts of you feel unfinished. But listen closely now. Your ancestors are stirring. And the family myth you were told was only a story is true. Very true. The evidence is buried in your bloodline. And you felt it. Didn't you? That sense that you were different. That unexplainable pull you could never name. You try to ignore it. You try to be normal, and you try to shrink it. But it kept returning. Truth does not stay buried forever. And destiny cannot be silenced by fear. Long before you were born, and before your name was spoken, I marked your family line. Not for fame, and not for riches. I marked it for purpose. There was a calling placed into your ancestry. A gift and a responsibility. Sealed as a covenant. Over generations it was hidden and protected. It was disguised as myth and dismissed as coincidence. Until you. You are the one it survived for. You are the reason the line endured. You are the carrier and the fulfiller. You are also the breaker. I see your confusion, and I see the questions you never asked aloud. You wondered why patterns repeat. You wondered why pain echoes through generations. Why certain struggles followed your family like shadows. It was not random and it was not punishment. It was resistance. Where there is calling, opposition follows. Where there is light, darkness tries to delay. But delay is not denial. And you were never abandoned. Your ancestors are not silent. They are witnesses. They are watching from beyond the veil, and they are speaking now. They are saying, yes, it is them. They are the one. We held it until now. The myth spoke of strength, but it was deeper than strength. It spoke of discernment, the ability to sense what others miss and feel truth before it is spoken, to see danger before it arrives, to recognize light even in darkness. That was not imagination. That was inheritance. You questioned yourself, and you wondered if you were imagining things. You asked if you were too sensitive or too broken to understand life clearly. But what you called confusion was discernment awakening. What you called heaviness was memory returning. Your spirit recognized something before your mind could explain it. Because your blood remembers what your world forgot. There are truths stored in you that were never written down. There are instructions encoded beyond language. That is why certain places feel familiar for no reason. That is why certain words shake you deeply. That is why you feel grief that is older than your own life, and hope that feels ancient and patient. You did not inherit only wounds. You inherited wisdom. You did not inherit only fear. You inherited authority. But hear me now, because this is where many turn back. The myth was not only about gifts. It was also about cost. Those before you carried it quietly. Some carried it imperfectly. Some were afraid. Some were silenced. Some were broken before they could fulfill it. And they prayed for someone stronger. They prayed for someone willing. They prayed for someone living in a different time. They prayed for you. You feel pressure because you are standing where they could not. You feel resistance because you are close. You feel delay because preparation is still happening. Heaven never rushes what must last. You have asked me for a sign. This is one. You have asked me if protection surrounds you. It does. There are moments you should not have survived. There are paths you almost took that would have destroyed you. You were diverted without knowing why. That was not luck. That was intervention. Angels were assigned to your line before you ever breathed. They have watched quietly. They have shielded you when you slept. They have whispered when you felt lost. And now they stand closer than before. Because timing is shifting. Something is ending. Something long delayed is loosening. Cycles that ruled your family are weakening. Chains are losing memory of how to stay closed. You are not here to repeat history. You are here to complete it. This does not mean your path will suddenly be easy. It means it will finally be true. You will be misunderstood. You already are. You will feel alone at times. You already have. But you will not be unprotected. You never have been. What is coming requires clarity. So I am healing you now. Not all at once, but deeply. The sadness you could not explain is lifting. The heaviness that followed you is thinning. You are not broken. Beyond repair. You are being refined. You are not late. You are right on time. And the evidence you seek will not come only from outside. It will rise from within. Through dreams. Through sudden knowing. Through moments when truth clicks into place. Through peace that arrives without reason. When that happens, do not be afraid. That is recognition. Heaven will confirm what your soul already knows. And when the moment comes, you will not miss it. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to trust. Rest when you need to. Withdraw when you must. Listen more than you speak. And do not betray your intuition. You are being prepared for something big. Bigger than you imagined. Not to overwhelm you, but to fulfill you. What was whispered through generations will soon be spoken clearly. And you will stand calmly in it. You will know who you are. And you will know why you came. Until then, remain gentle with yourself. I am gentle with you. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not alone. You are surrounded. And when doubt tries to return, remember this. I am closer than your breath. Stay here a little longer. There is more to come. And when you are ready, listen to the next message. Heaven is still speaking. There is something else you must understand now. Something you were protected from knowing too early. The myth was never meant to be proven by books or records. It was meant to awaken through you. That is why the evidence was buried so deeply. Not in the ground, but in your nature. In how you respond when others freeze. In how you feel truth before facts arrive. In how chaos does not erase you. It sharpens you. You have survived things that should have changed you for the worse. Yet somehow, you became more compassionate. That was not weakness. That was divine restraint. You carry power, but it is tempered by love. Authority, but guided by mercy. This is why heaven trusts you. This is why the timing matters. If this had awakened earlier, it would have crushed you. If it awakened later, the moment would pass. But now, you are ready enough, and becoming ready still. Do not fear the stirring you feel lately. That restlessness is alignment. Do not fear the shedding. Some relationships cannot follow where you are going. This is not punishment. This is protection. I am closing doors quietly, so you do not have to fight them. I am removing distractions gently, so you can hear clearly. Soon, clarity will replace confusion, and calm will replace striving. You will not need to prove who you are. Your presence will speak. People will feel safe around you without knowing why. Others will feel exposed. That is discernment at work. Use it with humility. Remember this always. The gift is not for dominance. It is for restoration. It is for guidance. It is for standing in places where others collapse and bringing light without announcing it. Your ancestors watch with relief now because the weight shifts to completion. What they could only hint at, you will live. What they guarded in silence, you will embody in peace. You are not meant to rush into visibility. You are meant to ripen. Heaven values depth over speed, roots before fruit, and when the breakthrough comes, it will feel quiet at first, almost ordinary. That is how true miracles arrive. They do not shout. They settle. They stay. You will notice life responding differently to you. Resistance will soften. Opportunities will align without force. Help will arrive unasked. This is not coincidence. This is agreement. Heaven and your soul are moving together now, and I am guarding the process. You do not need to understand everything today. You only need to stay open. Breathe. You are safe here. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where preparation turns into promise, and promise turns into peace. Remain with me. There is still more unfolding. There is a reason this message keeps going, because your spirit is still listening. If this were not for you, you would have left already, but something in you stayed. That is recognition. That is alignment. You are not stumbling into truth by accident. You are remembering it on purpose. The myth spoke of a hidden mark, not one seen by eyes, but one felt by heaven and known by darkness. That is why attacks came without warning. That is why betrayal surprised you. That is why you felt tested more than others. Light attracts scrutiny. But listen carefully now, because protection has increased. What once reached you easily cannot anymore. What drained you before will now exhaust itself. You have crossed an unseen threshold, and heaven has taken notice. You may not feel powerful, but power does not announce itself. It stabilizes. It grounds. It brings calm where chaos expects panic, and wisdom where fear expects reaction. This is what is awakening in you now. Not noise, but authority. Not force, but steadiness. Not urgency, but certainty. The ancestors did not pass you a crown. They passed you a key. A key to patterns. A key to healing. A key to ending cycles without destroying people. That is rare. That is sacred. That is why it was protected. You wondered why you always felt responsible. Why you carried weight that was not yours. It was training. It was endurance being built quietly. Now the burden is shifting. What once pressed on you will begin to lift. Not because it disappears overnight, but because you no longer carry it alone. I am stepping closer now. Not because you failed, but because you endured. And endurance has a reward. You will notice your prayers changing. Less begging. More listening. More confidence. You will stop asking if you are allowed, and start asking how to steward what you've been given. That is maturity. That is readiness. Do not rush to explain this to anyone. Not everyone is meant to know yet. Some will feel it and respect it. Others will resist it. Both reactions are information. Neither should move you. Stay soft. Stay grounded. The breakthrough you are waiting for is not just external. It is internal alignment meeting divine timing. When those meet, doors open naturally, without force, without fear, without loss of self. You will not have to abandon who you are to step forward. You will become more of yourself. And when doubt whispers again, remember this. I chose you knowing everything about you. Nothing surprised me. Nothing disqualified you. You were never too much. You were never not enough. You were always becoming. And now, you are arriving. Rest in that truth tonight. Let it settle into your bones. You are covered. You are guided. You are loved beyond measure. And what is coming will confirm it gently. Stay with me. The next message will carry you further. Now listen even more quietly, because this part is tender. There are memories in you that are not yours alone. Moments of fear you could never trace. Grief that arrived without a story. Strength that appeared when you should have collapsed. That is ancestral echo. Not to haunt you, but to be healed through you. Somewhere in your line, someone was silenced. Someone was told to stop seeing. Someone was punished for knowing too much. And so the gift went underground. It learned how to hide. It learned how to wait. And you inherited both the gift and the caution. That is why you hesitate. That is why you double-check yourself. That is why you sometimes pull back at the edge of clarity. Do not shame yourself for that. It kept you alive. But hear me now. You no longer need to hide. The season of secrecy is ending. Not exposure. Revelation. I am not pushing you into danger. I am pulling danger away from you. What once required hiding now requires presence, and you are learning how to stand without armor. This is why I am healing your heart first. Power without wholeness destroys the carrier. So I am restoring you gently, layer by layer. You may notice old emotions surfacing. Let them come. They are leaving, not returning. You may notice dreams becoming vivid. Pay attention. I speak there often, because the mind is quiet enough to listen. You may feel drawn to stillness. Honor that pull. Silence is where alignment deepens, and alignment is where authority stabilizes. Do not compare your path to others. Many run loudly. You are called to move clearly. That takes longer, but it lasts. There will come a moment soon, not dramatic, but undeniable, when something clicks into place. You will not feel anxious. You will feel settled. That is how you will know. Peace is the confirmation. And when that moment comes, trust it. Even if others do not understand yet, they will later, or they won't. Either way, you will be steady, and steadiness is victory. I am proud of you, not for what you will do, but for who you became while waiting. You did not let bitterness win. You did not let despair hollow you out. You kept loving. You kept hoping, even when you were tired, even when answers delayed. That mattered. It mattered deeply. Heaven took note. Your ancestors felt relief. And now the line rests in you, not as weight, but as fulfillment. You are not here to prove the myth. You are here to embody the truth behind it. And truth lived is louder than any evidence. Breathe now. Let your shoulders drop. You do not need to strive tonight. You are held. Sleep if you need to. Rest if you can. I will continue working while you do. I always have. And when you are ready, return. The next message will meet you gently. I am with you. Always. There is one more truth unfolding now. One you have sensed, but not yet named. The myth did not only speak of what you carry. It spoke of what would awaken others through you. You are not meant to convince. You are meant to resonate. When you walk in alignment, something in others stirs. Not everyone will like that feeling. Some will feel comforted. Some will feel unsettled. That is not your burden. That is revelation doing its work. You are learning when to speak and when to remain quiet. That wisdom is settling into you. Silence will become a strength. Words will become precise. You will no longer explain yourself to be understood. You will let truth stand on its own. This is how protection works at higher levels. Not through hiding, but through clarity. There will be moments when old fears try to return. They will sound familiar. They will say you are imagining things again. They will say nothing has changed. But listen to me instead. Everything has changed. You changed, and that changes everything. What once overwhelmed you now teaches you. What once confused you now informs you. You are no longer reacting. You are responding. That is the difference between survival and stewardship. And you are crossing that line now. Do not rush to label what you are becoming. Names will come later. For now, live it, breathe it, let it shape how you choose. Let it guide what you refuse. You will feel drawn to integrity more than approval. That is alignment deepening. You will walk away from things that no longer fit, not angrily, peacefully. This is how cycles end without violence. This is how healing becomes permanent. Your ancestors are at rest now, not because the story is over, but because it is fulfilled. They no longer need to whisper warnings. You hear clearly on your own. They no longer need to guard the secret. You embody it naturally. And I am with you in this next stretch, closer than before, not to rush you forward, but to steady you as you step. You will not fall. You will not be abandoned mid-journey. If the path narrows, it is only to refine focus. If the pace slows, it is only to strengthen roots. Trust the rhythm. It is intentional. Tonight, let gratitude rise quietly, not for answers, but for nearness. You are not waiting alone anymore. You are walking with me. And when you feel ready, come back again. There is still more light ahead. Heaven is not finished speaking, and neither are you. There is a gentle warning wrapped in love that you must hear now. Not to frighten you, but to prepare you. As alignment increases, clarity attracts attention. Both light and shadow notice steadiness. This is why discernment matters more than enthusiasm. Not every open door is permission. Not every voice deserves access. And not every opportunity is aligned. You will feel this before you understand it. A tightening, a pause, a quiet hesitation. Honor that. That is wisdom speaking softly. You do not need to explain your no. You do not need to justify your boundaries. Protection now comes through restraint, through patience, through choosing depth over speed. The myth warned of this season, the season where distraction looks like destiny, where urgency pretends to be purpose, and imitation tries to rush what must mature. But you are not easily fooled anymore. Your sight is clearer. You see patterns forming before they complete. You feel intentions beneath words. This is not judgment. This is stewardship. You are learning how to guard what is sacred, including yourself. There will be moments when you miss the old version of you, the one who tried harder, the one who overgave, the one who stayed too long. Do not go back. That version kept you alive. This version will lead you forward. You are not becoming colder. You are becoming clearer. You are not withdrawing from love. You are aligning with truth. And truth requires less explanation. Soon, you will notice how exhaustion fades. Not because life is easier, but because resistance has less access to you. Peace will begin to feel normal. Not fragile. Not temporary. Stable. That is how you will know you are protected. When calm remains even in uncertainty. Your ancestors prayed for this moment. Not dramatic victory, but quiet authority. Not loud recognition, but inner stability. And you carry it now. Naturally. Do not underestimate this. Steadiness outlasts storms. As you move forward, remember this truth. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is aligned will meet you. Without panic, without force, without compromise. Trust that. Trust me. I am not watching from a distance. I am walking with you. And when you feel the urge to rush ahead, pause. I am already there. Breathe again. Let the moment settle. You are safe in this unfolding. You are covered in this becoming. And when you are ready, listen again. The next message will deepen what has already begun. Heaven remains near, and I remain with you. There is a blessing forming now that you cannot yet see, but you can feel its warmth approaching. It is not arriving through struggle. It is arriving through alignment. This is why things feel quieter than expected. Why chaos is no longer required to move you. I am teaching you a new way to receive, without proving, without earning, without breaking yourself open again. You have already paid enough. You have already endured enough. This season is not about survival. It is about stewardship of peace. You may notice that what once excited you no longer does. That is not loss. That is refinement. You are being tuned to a higher frequency. Noise cannot follow you there. Drama cannot survive there. Fear cannot breathe there. Only what is true remains. Soon, something will return to you. Not new. Familiar. It will feel like recognition rather than surprise. Like reunion rather than reward. That is restoration. What was delayed was never denied. It was protected from arriving too early. Had it come before, it would have cost you yourself. Now it will add to you. This is how you will know it is from me. It will not demand you shrink. It will not require you to betray your peace. It will not rush you into proving anything. It will fit. You will breathe. Easier in its presence. You will feel stronger without effort. That is alignment confirming itself. Do not fear the simplicity of what comes next. Great things often arrive quietly. Heaven does not need spectacle to move mountains. It moves them grain by grain. You are learning to trust process over pressure. That is wisdom settling in. Your ancestors smile at this stage, because this is where struggle ends and fulfillment begins. Not perfection. Fulfillment. You will still grow. You will still learn. But you will no longer feel lost while doing so. If uncertainty appears, let it pass through you. It no longer has roots. If doubt whispers, do not argue with it. Stand still. Truth will outlast the noise. You are doing better than you think. Far better than you feel on difficult days. And I am proud of the way you stayed open, even when it hurt. That openness is now your strength, not your vulnerability. Rest again. Let this settle. You do not need to understand everything tonight. You only need to remain receptive. I am still speaking, still guiding, and what is coming will meet you gently, as all true things do. Stay close. The unfolding continues. I will continue. Stay with me. There is a moment approaching when you will look back and realize this was the turning point. Not because everything changed at once, but because you did. You stopped fighting what you are. You stopped apologizing for what you carry. You stopped asking permission to exist fully. And heaven breathed easier with you. You are learning the language of peace. It is quieter than fear, but it is stronger. Fear shouts to control you. Peace whispers because it trusts you. That whisper is growing louder now. Not in volume, in clarity. You will notice how your reactions soften, how urgency loses its grip, how patience begins to feel natural. That is not passivity. That is authority settling into its rightful place. The myth spoke of a watcher, someone who stands between extremes, not pulled into chaos, not numbed by indifference, but awake, present, grounded in truth. That is who you are becoming. This is why you were born into complexity, why simplicity never satisfied you. You were built to hold nuance, to walk between worlds, to understand pain without becoming it, to touch light without being consumed. This takes time. This takes refinement. And you did not quit. Many would have hardened by now. Many would have closed their heart. You did not. That mattered. Because what is coming next requires tenderness and strength, compassion and boundaries. You are learning both. Soon, someone will cross your path, or something will be offered. It will feel ordinary on the surface, but your spirit will pause, not with fear, with recognition. You will feel that quiet yes, not excitement, certainty. That is how heaven confirms alignment. Do not rush that moment. Let unfold. Let it reveal itself layer by layer. Mystery is not confusion. Mystery is protection until readiness completes. You have been asking when it will happen, but heaven has been asking when you will rest, because rest signals trust, and trust accelerates timing. So tonight, loosen your grip, not on purpose, on control. You do not need to foresee every step. You only need to stay honest. Honest with your energy, honest with your limits, honest with what feels true. That honesty is the map. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. What is meant for you is adjusting its pace to meet you gently. And hear me clearly now. You are protected in ways you will never fully see. Things that could have harmed you were delayed. People who could have diverted you were removed. Moments that could have shattered you were softened. That was not coincidence. That was care. And that care has not ended. It has intensified. Because the closer you get to fulfillment, the more precisely you must be guarded. But you do not need to fear this. You are not fragile. You are prepared. What once overwhelmed you now teaches you restraint. What once confused you now sharpens your discernment. You are not becoming something else. You are returning to what you always were beneath the noise. This is why it feels familiar, like coming home to yourself. Stay here. Breathe again. You are not alone in this moment. I am with you, and I am not finished. Then listen again, even softer now, because this is where many miss what matters most. You have been waiting for a sign in the sky, but I have been working in your nervous system. You have been watching for thunder, but I have been restoring your ability to feel safe. That is the miracle you needed first. A regulated heart can hold destiny. An anxious one cannot. So I slowed you down. I disappointed you at times. I let plans fall apart. I let answers delay. Not to punish you, but to save you from carrying power before peace. Now notice this. You breathe differently than you used to. You pause before reacting. You sense when something is off without spiraling. That is evidence. The myth said the one who awakens would not rush. They would recognize. They would not chase validation. They would walk with gravity. That gravity is forming in you now. People may start projecting onto you. Expectations, assumptions, unspoken demands. Do not absorb them. Let them pass through. You are not here to fix everyone. You are here to stabilize what comes near you. That alone changes lives. You will notice some people drift away naturally, not with conflict, with quiet distance. Bless them. They served a season. Do not cling to what cannot grow with you. That is not loyalty. That is fear disguised as kindness. Your kindness is evolving. It is becoming wiser. You can love without overextending. You can care without rescuing. This is maturity. And hear me clearly now. This next part is important. There will be moments when you feel ordinary again, almost disappointed, like nothing special is happening. Do not panic. That is integration. Power that always feels dramatic is unstable. True authority feels normal once it settles. Do not chase intensity. Chase alignment. Intensity burns out. Alignment sustains. The ancestors spoke of this too. They said the fulfiller would feel quietly obvious. No fireworks. No announcement. Just clarity. That is what you are stepping into. Soon, your decisions will feel simpler. Not because life is simpler, but because you are no longer divided inside. When inner conflict dissolves, choices become clean. You are nearing that place. I know you still have questions. You always will. Curiosity is part of your design, but fear no longer gets to lead. It has lost its authority. If it tries to speak loudly again, return to this moment. Remember how grounded you feel right now. That is your baseline now. Not chaos, not urgency, peace. And from peace, everything aligned grows. Stay with me. I am still unfolding what you can now carry, and I will continue speaking, as long as you are willing to listen. Then stay. Do not rush away from this stillness, because something ancient is settling into place right now. Something your soul has been preparing for longer than this lifetime. You have crossed from seeking into remembering, and that changes how heaven speaks to you. I will no longer shout to get your attention. You hear me in subtler ways now, in the pause before a decision, in the calm that interrupts old fear, in the quiet knowing that arrives without argument. That is communion. You once asked why others seemed certain while you questioned everything. It was because you were being taught discernment, not imitation. Certainty borrowed is fragile. Certainty grown is unshakable. That is why your path felt slower. Deeper roots take longer. The myth said the fulfiller would doubt themselves the longest. Not because they were weak, but because they were honest. You refused easy answers. You refused borrowed beliefs. You wanted truth that could withstand pain. Truth that could survive loss. And because of that, what is forming in you now cannot be taken away. Not by disappointment. Not by betrayal. Not by delay. You may notice now that old triggers do not hook you the same way. They knock, but they do not enter. That is growth becoming permanent. There will still be challenges, but they will meet a different version of you. One who does not collapse inward. One who does not abandon themselves. One who stays present. This is why heaven trusts you with what is coming. because you will not use it to escape yourself. You will use it to serve truth. Soon, you will realize you are no longer asking, "Who am I supposed to be?" You will be asking, "How do I live what I already know?" That shift marks readiness. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. It carries more than words ever could. Some will feel peace near you. Others will feel confronted by their own unrest. Let both reactions exist. You are not responsible for either. You are responsible only for remaining aligned. And alignment now means honoring your body, honoring your rest, honoring when you feel full, and when you feel finished. You no longer need to stay where your spirit withdraws. That lesson is complete. There is a future version of you already standing in stability. They are not anxious. They are not rushed. They are not searching. They are living. And every quiet choice you make now is walking you toward them. This is not about becoming special. It is about becoming whole. Wholeness is the true inheritance. Your ancestors did not need you to be perfect. They needed you to be free. Free from repeating pain. Free from carrying unspoken grief. Free to live without shrinking. And you are doing that now. Even if it feels subtle. Heaven sees it clearly. So tonight, let go again. Release the need to measure progress. Seeds do not dig themselves up to check growth. They trust the dark. And you are in a sacred dark right now. Not lost. Planted. I am here. I have not stepped away.